Clifton will be starting things off.
I think this matchup, I mean, die roll is obviously always going to be important in most Yu-Gi-Oh matchups, but this one, it can go either way. Both decks are designed to play into each other really well. Lots of interactions from the hand. You really don't have much to worry about. And that normal summon sword is one of the worst starts here. So I think Jose is pretty happy to see this as long as he has any way to interact with it.
Yeah, there's a lot of different ways to start your turns off. Normal summoning sword usually means you don't have any other option, and that is why Jose is going to go ahead and let Infinite and Permanence rip from the hand. But next, Clifton's going to discard Fiendsmith Engraver.
Still has plays here. Engraver's going to be able to add a Fiendsmith Spell Trap, going to grab the Fiendsmith Tract, activating Track now. Going to be able to add a Light Fiend from deck to hand. Likely going to be that Fabled Lurie.
The players did re-sleeve here in top 16. That's why you see them having the same sleeves. Fiendsmith Tract's going to discard, add the Fabled Lurie, send it to the graveyard, and then it comes back. That'll be linked away for Fiendsmith Requiem, which he can now tribute to special summon a Fiendsmith monster from his deck. But now this is going to cause Jose to consider his options. Oh, he has to summon the Lacrima from his hand.
Ooh, that is a little painful, but I think pretty considerable position here. Now, Clifton has a lot of options. He could just go into Duo Drive and try to push forward if he really wants to.
He does have 2 level 4 monsters on the field.
Looks like we are gonna forego the rest of the Fiendsmith part and go straight into the Duo Drive.
Someone okay? Yeah, you're good. Fix search.
It seems like Clifton really baited Jose here with the normal summon sword. Usually that is a heavy indicator that you don't have any other way to play, but having the Engraver to follow up, and now you'll be able to put the X in your hand. You can still special summon sword because you normal summoned it, but you can't use its effect to search anymore. And you can also just grab either a cross or another extender here. It looks like he's eyeing Ice Ryzeal.
Yep, gonna add X and Ice.
Anything on rest?
Next up, he's going to special summon Extrazeal from the hand by sending a monster from his extra deck to the graveyard. He's going to send Eclipse Twins.
All right, so this does lock him out of extra summons that are not of the 4s.
X is going to add Node Ryzeal.
So the Engraver was still available in the graveyard. He could have linked with the Duo Drive earlier before using the X, but he's valuing the effect of X to search here. Already having the Ice in hand as well. Looks like he is going to be sending the Duo Drive for the effect of Ice. Back to 2 level 4 monsters on the field.
Actually?
Activating the cross from hand, hard drawing it.
One unknown. Yep.
All right, now Jose's going to consider his options. If he has a monster effect he wants to use, he wants to do it before an Xyz hits the field.
There.
But nothing here.
It looks like it was a lone Infinite Permanence. Was really hoping hitting the sword was going to be enough here. But I believe a detonator is moments away from hitting the field. Well, Clifton really considering it. He seems like he's not sure. No, but there is the detonator. Maybe considering positioning as well. If he wants to leave it in attack mode, just in case he needs to play around something along the lines of Bestial Druid Worm.
Yep. On summon, Detonator can attach a monster as a material from the graveyard. He's going to attach that Eclipse Twins.
I wonder if there's anything else for him to do. It looks like he's shuffling his deck. Gonna follow up with, I believe, Ryzeal Cross to get one more draw if he has enough Ryzeals in the graveyard. No, he's going to be using Engraver to put back the Lurie.
Someone okay? Effect Requiem.
Now he's going to equip Requiem to Engraver.
Special.
Actually, summon the Node. Oh, gets a free send here. Okay, so he gets to extend even further. Summon back the sword Ryzeal.
So now you can go into another rank 4. Probably going to look along the lines of something like Abyss Dweller. There it is.
Making sure to cut off his opponent's Fiendsmith engine.
He's got the Fiendsmith and Paradise in the graveyard as well, alongside the Detonator and Dweller. Not too bad for a turn 1.
He had a lot of information. He is safe with the effect of cross, so
Fantastic.
he can commit more to the field. And now that's very, very strong end board into the infinite permanence.
Stand by face. Get to duel.
You'll be using the Dweller in the standby phase. You're detaching the Sword Ryzeal.
Paradise engrave. Yep.
Just confirming there is Fiendsmith and Paradise engrave as well with the Lacrima.
Is Jose going to be able to push through all these interruptions that Clifton is throwing at him?
It seems like he has a lot of engine in his hand. He didn't have many interruptions on the previous turn, so he has to potentially navigate through with a hand full of ways to play. It's definitely possible. So we're going to start off with Ice Ryzeal. Looks like Detonator is chaining to destroy, and likely we'll see Cross negating its effect as well.
Okay. Let's resolve. Yep.
Okay, so it's allowed to summon from the deck here.
Interesting. Values to hold off on using Ryzeal Cross.
I think he sees that Detonator will potentially deal with all the Ryzeal monsters here because he knows that Dweller has really dealt with the majority of what Fiendsmith can do in this position. And also, he does have the Fiendsmith in Paradise already live, so he can just
True.
have basically another version of Detonator.
Sword Ryzeal coming down here for Jose. This will... Oh, maybe not. He's thinking about if he wants to use Detonator or not.
He wants to keep Jose off the body as much as he can. Hopefully force him to put himself in a restriction. Detonator's activating, targeting the Sword Ryzeal. Sword Ryzeal will be destroyed, and looks like at resolution nothing will be used, so Sword Ryzeal will resolve its effect to grab X Ryzeal from the deck.
The Dweller kind of huge. It cuts off things like Mariological Aggregator.
Yeah, it's a strong check to keep your cross online. Jose still has plenty of cards in his hand, but has committed his normal summon already. The Ryzeal monster is really efficient at replacing themselves, but Detonator doesn't really cost much of anything.
Certainly doesn't. Just gets to destroy cards. I mean, you got to detach material.
You're good.
And now he has to make the choice, right? Is he going to detach for Cross, or is he going to detach for Detonator at this point? There's going to be the X Ryzeal, sending probably just something along the lines of Eclipse Twins, just to have it in the graveyard, or maybe another Ryzeal monster if he really wants to. Maybe to put back cards for Cross.
You have 55 minutes. You may begin.
Looks like he's just going to send the Eclipse Twins to the graveyard to have it set up for a Detonator down the line. And he's using the effect of the X, which would be met with Detonator going after it one more time. Oh, it's going to just destroy itself. This makes a lot of sense here. Eclipse Twins will be able to resummon the Detonator, get a lot more uses live.
Essentially gets the gain of material, right? 'Cause
Mhm.
the Eclipse Twins will attach material, and the Detonator gets attached to material when it summons back as well.
Fix it.
Smart stuff here from Clifton.
I feel like this is the first time Detonator's been able to successfully resolve this many times on stream.
Another sword. Yeah, gotcha.
Going to go ahead and use its effect to summon back the Detonator under a duo drive, or over a duo drive, and then Detonator will use its effect to equip the Eclipse Twins. And now that is a special summon of Sword Ryzeal, who's already used its effect on field, but can still summon itself.
Jose may be trying to find a way to Exiton Knight, kind of clean the board up.
But he still hasn't used Ryzeal Cross.
Yep, that is very true. He's going to have to keep that in mind.
Fiendsmith in Paradise loaded in the graveyard as well. How many more pushes does Jose have? I mean, Clifton clearly knows he's playing the exact same strategy. He knows what he can do with those cards, so he just has to play into his outs here, make sure there's no opening for Jose.
See, it looks like Jose's contemplating some Detonator. Yep, Ryzeal Detonator is going to come down.
We'll see if Detonator is activating its effect here.
Yep.
This is a tough spot for Jose. Is he still considering activating the attach effect on summon? Is that where we're at right now?
I'm not sure if he's considering the attach or if Clifton is considering using the Fiendsmith in Paradise as well.
True.
You're good.
Clifton opts out of the Fiendsmith in Paradise.
Yep, so he does attach the Eclipse Twins on summon.
Good.
3 materials under the Detonator, facing down a Detonator with 2 materials, an Engraver, and Abyss Dweller. But the Ryzeal Cross still not being used is what Jose has to keep in mind.
Yeah.
Jose really considering his options here. He's pretty limited at this point. There's only so many extenders that you can use. He's used the effect of X from hand. He's used the effect of Sword from hand. He's normal summoned Ice. So he has still the effect of No to special summon itself and the effect of Ice to special summon itself.
Ooh, the surprise Ryzeal Cross from the hand. That's not bad.
Both players having hard drawn the Ryzeal Cross here.
Yeah, it's always a little scarier when you don't see it coming.
Jose needs to progress the game state a little bit from this position. It looks like he might be attempting to go into battle phase here. Yep, he's going to try to crash with the opposing Detonator. Just to get a material off of each.
It seems like he's going to detach to protect his Detonator. Clifton will detach Duo Drive to also protect his Detonator from being destroyed.
A little stalemate there. They get to stare at each other for a while. Where do we go from here?
It's a tough spot. Jose looks like he has a few other monsters in his hand, potentially. Looks like in Phase 2 he's going to activate Ryzeal Cross to try and put 2 Ryzeal monsters at the bottom of the deck to draw a card.
I think that does merit a Detonator at some point. You really don't want the Cross on the field. But this is the interesting part. You allowed Cross to resolve, so now it's a negate. It's online. You probably just have to let this go through. Nope, it looks like he's going to use the effect of his Detonator here. Yeah, so now at resolution, he can just protect it by detaching a material from the Detonator, right? If he so chooses to.
Protect it with...
Like, he could just negate the effect of the opposing Detonator with Cross.
Oh, yes, 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 I see what you're saying. Looks like that is going to be what he does.
Difficult game state. Jose just trying to find his way through the field. Already sticking a Detonator in a decent position here. And now there's no materials, so that opposing Cross can't protect itself. Both these Detonators might be used up by the end of this turn, but could be like a strong way of clearing the position.
There's so many Siege materials being sent to the graveyard here in this mirror match.
So your Cross dies.
Yep, so Cross resolves, and then now this Cross.
Detonator resolves. Destroying Ryzeal Cross. And
Yeah,
now
then
at resolution, Jose's Cross can negate the Detonator.
Yep, and now you're able to resolve the effect, put the 2 back, get to draw a card.
Sword Eyes, right?
So Jose comes out on top here in this trade.
Like, it's favorable trade, but what have you accomplished? Your Detonator's all out of materials. The Cross is essentially not going to do anything unless you can extend further from this point, which is possible because there's no responses left from your opponent that you can see.
Yeah, just 1 card in hand. Jose is under Abyss Dweller right now.
You're not allowed to summon another detonator because of the restriction on Ryzeal Cross. You can't control Ryzeal monsters with different names, or Ryzeal Xyz monsters with different names. Or sorry, with the same name is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I get you. I'm picking up what you're putting
Yeah,
down.
Sword Index.
But there is the Node Ryzeal being able to summon itself.
That's a really good one to have here in this situation. He needs cards just to keep extending to make more rank 4 plays.
How many hand? 3 crit.
Even though he didn't have as many ways to interact with Clifton on the first turn, he had plenty of ways to just keep playing on his own. He's able to push through all the interruptions now. I think he's unfortunately forced to go into a duo drive, but that might just have to be enough. It sets you up with more follow-up, but also leaves a cross online. But Clifton, yeah, he has still access to that Fiendsmith in Paradise. He's going to be able to send away the node if there's no response here.
Desiree.
If Desiree is going to go after the node, and if Clifton gets his turn back, he has plenty of ways to keep playing.
He does have a Light Fiend in his graveyard still.
It's on the field even.
Yeah, I was wondering if maybe he didn't have one because the engraver's there, but
They're going to be putting back the Requiem.
he'll be able to use that next turn. He's going to try and send Node to the graveyard.
Very, very complicated turn. Jose's really trying his best to navigate through all the interruptions that Clifton put up. But he might just fall short. He might get through every interruption, but not pose enough of a threat to stop Clifton from just taking the game on his following turn. Because he's already in main phase 2. There's really nothing else that you can extend with an Ice Ryzeal. It does not do enough here. Hail Mary Monster Born, Soul Charge.
This reminds me of just like Burning Abyss mirror matches almost.
Yeah, like the game doesn't end instantly. It's just about
Davis.
accruing advantage, getting through
Green
all the appropriate interruptions, and then finding your way to the next turn. And now it is Clifton's turn. He has drawn his card, looking at his graveyard here, seeing which way he wants to start. Likely going to be with those Fiendsmith cards. Likely trying to find a way to put Lacrima back on the field, if anything, just so you have all level 4, so then you can go into X.
Yep, Requiem is back. It's going to the graveyard. Going to special summon a Fiendsmith from the deck to the field.
I think he's just going to grab another copy of Engraver here. The Lacrima is already in the graveyard.
Yep, here comes Fiendsmith Engraver. Maybe looking to go
Pick
for a
the
rank 6 play.
Requiem 2-touch.
Jose really just sitting on nothing in terms of interaction.
Now, Clifton doesn't have to do that much in terms of damage. He can go ahead and send away this detonator right now, and then he only has to put up a few more bodies to get rid of the damage. And yeah, that is enough. Jose sees. Jose likely going to be choosing first here. All right, we're going to be leading off with the Mulcharmy Perulia, and that's going to be met with Ash Blossom, cutting that off instantly. And then leading with a Fiendsmith's Tract that's going to be adding likely the Fabled Lurry. There's Fabled Lurry going to be added to hand and then sent to the graveyard to be able to trigger its effect to summon itself back onto the field.
Is there another Mulcharmy? Doesn't look like it. I love it when they're announcing for the Rescue Rabbit.
Yes.
Because it just keeps going down the list and the names keep going. But Fabled Lurry is going to link away into Fiendsmith Requiem. And now it looks like he's normal summoning Ice Ryzeal.
Yep, trying to play around Fuaros as much as you can here. So you can normal summon Ice, try to activate its effect. So if there is a Fuaros, you can chain the Requiem. Looks like we're going to be doing so anyway.
I can hear myself think again. Nice. Requiem is going to bring out Lacrima, the Crimson Tears. Ice is going to summon Extra Zeal.
Going to go ahead and chain block a bit there.
The Lacrima will send Fiendsmith Engraver to the graveyard. Extra Zeal will add
A
is it
node
Node?
dice. Yeah. Now, where to from here? Are we going to prioritize having access to Caesar, or are we going to go for sequence? It looks like we're going to be starting with a rank 4 here into Duo Drive with the 2 Ryzeal monsters.
Bring in hand.
That's going to be met with infinite permanence.
It's could be huge. That's the cards you want to stop. But it looks like Jose is considering chaining. Does he have a crossout designator in his hand? It looks like it.
I mean, this is a very powerful effect to be able to resolve.
I think he's going to chain it. And he is.
There's cross out for the infinite permanence. Is there another response here to try to stop the duo drive?
Nope.
There is not. It's a very strong position for Jose here, exactly where he wants to be.
I mean, Clifton having two of those interactions and being able to ash the Pearly. Is it Pearly? No, Fualos. He ashed the Fualos, crossed out the Imperm.
Effectively negating both of them.
Yep.
And now he's going to be able to resolve the majority of his combo, if not all of it, into Clifton's only 4-card hand.
One's node.
Drawing to 4, yep.
Considering his options, getting the cross here, I think he already had the node that we saw. And an X as well, so he already has sword, I imagine.
X cross.
Lots of ways to extend from the hand here, and once you're able to set up the sword, you can pretty much do anything. We're going to be linking away with the duo drive and the Lacrima likely into sequence. Yep, there is a sequence.
Does he? Yeah.
Is sequence immediately activating its effect?
Clifton Land, the Midwest Master, checking the graveyard of Jose. The Northeast Duelist.
I wonder where you were going to go with that one.
I was trying. I was like, I usually just let it flow and hope something comes to me, but that one was tough. Northeast Nuisance? No, I'm just kidding.
That seems a little rude.
That seemed a little rude. Sorry, Jose, you're the man.
Attention duelists, I'm looking for
Northeast newcomer?
Nah, well, I guess he's kind of newcomer, but he's been doing so. I feel like you make top 4 at Worlds, you lose like all sort of newcomer status, but he's definitely been one of the up-and-coming players who's now solidified himself as a threat to win any tournament.
Let's call him the Northeast Beast.
Ooh, I like that. Northeast Beast. That's a good one.
There is a Druis Worm in response to the effective sequence here. Try to cut off some of those Light Fiend as well as the Engraver. Or look, okay, we're going to be hitting the Lacrima here. So will sequence be able to resolve? That's 1, 2, and 3. But really limiting what's available in the graveyard now. You're not going to be able to use the Lacrima in order to summon back the Requiem in order to set up a Desiree play, or sorry, a Fiendsmith in Paradise play after the fact. But that seems fine because you already have Desiree on the field. You just need a way to answer this Druis Worm.
Where does he go next from here is the question of the
Just
day.
tell me, we can go next. You good?
Jose really considering his options here. I mean, they did get extra time, but you know, and he does like to take his time considering all of his options. It looks like we're going to be linking away.
For Fiendsmith Agman Day?
Yep, this will trigger the Desiree to go after the Druis Worm. And the Druis Worm is going to chain to Agman Day. Agman Day is going to chain its own effect to summon back the Desiree.
Well played here from Jose.
Very efficient way of dealing with all those interruptions. And now I likely just a special summon of Sword to continue playing Ryzeal, right?
That's what it's looking like. And Clifton only has 2 cards in hand, drawing to 3.
Oh, a special summon of X. Very interesting. I mean, you already used its effective search, so you got all the value that you needed from it. We're going to send Eclipse Twins to the graveyard. There is the special summon of Sword.
This is looking like Jose. Yeah, I was like, I can't believe Clifton's going to.
All right. Quick handshake from the players. Clifton's going to ready to start this game off. Oh, that is the most tried and true start for this deck. Going to be met with the Ash Blossom. Okay, and then special summon Sword from the hand.
That's tough.
So it's not the end of the world. That means you're not going into the Fiendsmith part of your deck, but you are able to continue entirely with the Ryzeal portion.
Gonna add extra zeal.
Going to be sending the detonator in order to summon itself, and then going to be using its effect, likely adding Node Ryzeal here. There it is.
Things are looking good for Clifton so far. Because especially when you see that Ash Blossom on the Ice Ryzeal, that kind of leads you to believe that might be one of the only interactions that Jose could have, and that's why he just let it rip right away and hope. Especially if this duo driver resolves, that would be pretty telling.
I mean, this will be what decides the rest of this game.
Oh.
It's resolving.
This is tough.
All right, Clifton, now is just the time to lock in. As long as you don't make any mistakes, the game is pretty much locked. Resolving Duo Drive, getting 2 cards for free here. One of the most powerful effects in the entire Ryzeal strategy.
Yeah, barring any like powerful side deck cards like Ultimate Slayer or something like coming down. But I don't know. I don't think that'll be the case here in this matchup, unfortunately, for Jose. Duo Drive added a couple Ryzeal monsters.
As well as the Cross. Cross is activated now. We still have the ability of Node to summon from hand. We have the ability to Ice from summon from hand.
He's got a copy of Infinite Impermanence. Things are looking good for Clifton.
Push cross.
Oh, he's going to start off with a draw here to see his options a little bit more.
Gets a fresh card from the top of his deck. Oh,
I think that's a pretty good one.
Yep.
That is a pretty good one.
I could tell by the way he was moving the cards. We're about to see it go to the top, but another point of interaction for Clifton here is spells disaster for Jose.
We're going to be using Ice Ryzeal's effect, sending Sword to special summon itself from the hand.
You can kind of look at Jose's body language. It doesn't seem very confident in that body language. It seems a little...
He doesn't seem that defeated just yet. He's definitely going to be playing an uphill battle here.
All right, now it looks like another overlay is coming down here for Clifton. We'll see if he's going to go straight into Detonator here.
You probably want to have it live as soon as you can. Have not used Node yet, so you can get a Dweller if you want to after the fact.
Only card I know currently is Node.
Yeah, I
Yep.
mean, the things Clifton is going to be considering
Sorry.
right now is like, should I still play around Nibiru, the Primal Being? What's the best way I can do that? Is there a way he can combo it with something to deal with my Ryzeal Cross?
Because the ways that Nibiru can even resolve at this point with Cross on the field would require usually a means that would have dealt with the Duo Drive in the first place, so it's
Yep.
pretty safe to assume that everything from here is going to walk, and then you just have to be prepared for anything that can happen on your opponent's turn.
Yep, I think that's where the thought process probably landed Clifton.
We're
He
going to be
is just
setting
gonna-
one.
Yep, just going to make the Detonator, attach material, set one face down, and pass.
Yep, not using the Node here because he doesn't want to give up any of the cards that he has. They're all useful extenders here. The Dweller is not good enough to merit getting rid of any of his current cards.
Okay, now it's time to see what Jose got. What are you going to do, Jose? This is your moment.
Starts with the Fiendsmith track. There is no Dweller, so this could be powerful.
I mean, maybe not using the Node is the opportunity Jose needs, because things would have been a lot worse if he was facing down a Dweller as well.
It would have been expensive for Clifton. He would have most likely had to give up
The Duo
the Duo Drive, which effectively takes away either a Detonator Destruction.
or Cross Negate.
Yeah, I mean, it's basically the Cross Negate, right? He's going to take a material away from the Detonator by doing so. Just for a Dweller, he doesn't know if it's necessarily worth it.
So he adds Engraver because he had Fabled Lure in his hand already.
Going to be able to use the effect of Fabled Lure now to summon himself from the graveyard.
4 in hand, 1's engraver. Yeah, you good.
Clifton allowing plays to continue here. I think he wants him to commit a little bit more, make sure he can at least stop some of these more important plays before he commits any of his monster effects to not play so heavily into a triple tactics, either of them.
Either of them.
Yeah.
I mean, the thrust basically can get you talent, so yeah, it makes a lot of sense. He's going to link away his Fabled Lure for Fiendsmith's Requiem. Now, Jose has to start trying to pick apart the board.
He's shown a talent for it in the previous games. He knows how to maneuver his way through. There's less interruptions than there were game one. Currently, the Engraver is sitting in the hand, so if this Requiem is met with Ash Blossom, he's not going to have an efficient way of putting it in the graveyard, except for activating it. Because I forgot, these decks play multiple copies of Tract.
Yep. And now he's going to be able to add another copy to his hand. Oh, he looks like he's considering adding Fiendsmith in Paradise.
To be a fine option to be able to put in the graveyard with something along the lines of Node Ryzeal or Ice Ryzeal.
Yep.
Engraver's effect in the graveyard, shuffle back the Lurid and special summon itself. I feel like there is no need for a response here.
This is a tense moment for both these duelists. Like, Clifton knows he's in good shape, but he could be in better shape.
I mean, that's the exact position he needs to think about, right? He needs to know not to make any mistakes. Play as tight as he can. Because it's on him to lose this game.
Mm-hmm. This is his game to lose, and Jose's game to try and come back and win.
Sure.
All right. Requiem effect is going to be activated, attributing itself.
In response to the effect of Engraver. Very interesting. Just to make sure there's nothing on the field for Detonator to destroy while both effects are being activated.
Makes a lot of sense. And he holds the Ash Blossom.
I mean, it's really not posing much of a threat, right?
I mean, it's a level 4 monster on the field at minimum, right?
Yeah, so because you know Fiendsmith of Paradise is already in hand, the Lacrima is just going to be sending another copy of Engraver, and I think at this point, you can assume that Jose is going into something along the lines of Chaos Angel, which you know you can answer with that set infinite permanence.
Very true. So many layers to be figured out here by these duelists. It does look like he is eyeing that Chaos Angel on top of his extra deck there.
I think it's the play that makes the most amount of sense into this field.
Yep, Chaos Angel, you can make it without a tuner if you use light or dark monsters.
And when you're made with light monsters, it is unaffected by your opponent's monster effects, activated monster effects.
Yep, and on summon can banish card in the field, and he's going straight after Detonator.
Looks like we're going to be chaining Detonator, targeting the Chaos Angel, and likely, if there's no response from Jose, we're going to be chaining Infinite Impermanence.
Yeah. We have crossouts, so that's cool.
Yeah, like that is the answer. If you have Crossout Designator here, that would be the blowout that he needs.
I don't think he does, though.
Infinite Impermanence? Do you keep in Crossout going second? Probably not.
It would be a bold move. And the Chaos Angel goes down.
So for the cost of one Infinite Impermanence and one material from Detonator, you've effectively used the majority of your opponent's Fiendsmith effects for the turn. So now there are 4 cards in Jose's hand, one of them being Fiendsmith in Paradise that Clifton knows about, so he has to use the other cards available to him.
He still has his normal summon.
Does have that going for him.
You got to count your blessings. And it looks like he is going to normal. Oh no, he's going to special summon extra Ryzeal. Okay.
Strong.
Not bad. Yeah, really not bad.
It's going to force out the cross at the least.
Yep, so he's going to send down Aggregator, so he gets Chainlink 1X, Chainlink 2 Aggregator.
Yep. He's going to be able to attempt to go after the cross, I can only assume.
Aggregator, target Detonator.
Oh, target Detonator. It's the same thing. You're forcing out the cross in a way. You're just going to negate it by using the effective duo drive. Or, you know what I mean.
I know what you mean.
Yeah.
It's still Detonator.
I mean, it's Cross's effect detaching from duo drive to protect the Detonator.
Oh, yeah, that also.
Material is going to detach somewhere.
I want to start counting how many materials get detached in these mirror matches. It's crazy.
The detach counter?
Yes.
So we're going to be chaining Detonator's effect to the effect of
No other chance.
Aggregator.
Second if I want to cross it. Yeah. So it'll be
But on resolution, yeah, he'll be able to use Cross.
And yeah, cross. Well, I mean, you'll have to, right? You definitely want to prioritize the Detonator removal more than the cross removal in this position, potentially. I mean, maybe there's an argument for not.
I think he did, though, right?
No, he hasn't
Oh,
yet. He's
he
used
hasn't.
Detonator
He's
Destroy, and he's thinking about
he's
it.
thinking, okay.
And there is the detach from Duo Drive for the effect of cross. So there is still one effect of Detonator to be used.
Jose still has his normal summon.
here. Wherever you not don't.
Bonfire. And then this is the bad news.
2 in hand.
Is he going to use
Bad,
it right now?
Yep,
There's
Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring. Bad news for Jose. He tried so hard valiant effort, but that might be the icing on the cake that Clifton's going to need to win this game.
He's going to think about it, but those two cards in hand do absolutely nothing.
Ash Blossom and Fiendsmith in Paradise are not going to get him there. It's tough. It's been a good run, Jose. You've played excellent, but Clifton might have your number in this one.
Yep.
I mean, he's looking for any out that he's forgotten about.
He can look up, down, all around, but the answers just aren't going to be there. He's going to
set one. I mean, you might as well. There's no reason to concede. You might as well just let your opponent finish you off.
Draws for turn. Man, what a valiant effort. My hat's off to Jose, in much respect.
Cleanly played by both players. Now,
yeah, holding that Ash Blossom was key, really, for Clifton there. Not using it on the Requiem. Letting him go into the Chaos Angel, knowing that he could cover it with the Infinite Permanence, knowing that he might have to Ash something like Bonfire later on the turn.
All of these different interactions, you know there's so many different intervals where you could use them, but Clifton knows exactly what he needs to stop, and what he doesn't need to stop, he will allow, because it gets checked by something along the lines of impermanence right there. And we're going to be using the Ash Blossom. That confirms that the last card is Fiendsmith in Paradise. I'm going to be using Truest Worm on, I believe, the Lacrima in the graveyard. Or, no, I'm just going to go for the aggregator here. He can try to stay alive with the effect of Lacrima, but I don't know how much value he's really going to get from it.
Yep.
Considering there's,